Remember what the experts told us, okay? And they're traditional economists, very smart women and men. They told us getting inflation under control, in order to do, we had to lower wages and increase unemployment. Not a joke. Had to lower wages and increase unemployment. But we never.
Yesterday, the Senate held our second bipartisan AI Insight Forum. This one was focused on our North Star for AI, and that is innovation. It was an amazing 3 hours. We learned so much about all the things we need to know to do on AI, as well.
Deposits of the economic impact payments appeared in some bank accounts 2 weeks ago. For those in poverty, though, bank accounts are a luxury they cannot afford. And that leaves the question, how do they get their money now? Jenna Cisneros reports.
Legal Aid Line, can I help you?
When it comes to stimulus checks and those in poverty, Regina Campbell doesn't know what to tell people to expect.
Shocking news has been released, and there are 7-year plans put together by Republicans and Democrats, and they're trying to get things done for the American people. Now, there has been no shortage of Republican lawmakers bickering over Social Security in recent weeks because, as Republicans and Democrats have pointed out, fingers over which party wants to fix the program and which one wants to undermine it. Well, there are several problems with this. Because during a Senate Finance Committee hearing, the Senate Republicans accused the Treasury Secretary of lying about President Biden's willingness to work with lawmakers on Social Security reform. That followed a similar exchange between Republican Mitt Romney and Shalanda Young. Now, in a separate hearing, Romney said that she was simply wrong and not honest to suggest that current members of Congress want to cut off Social Security and Medicare. With so much hostility between the political parties, it's hard to see any hope of bipartisan Social Security reform that is. The only solution with even a whiff of bipartisan support is a proposal to raise this full retirement age for Social Security beneficiaries. That proposal announced last month is being pushed by the Cassidy senators and the Louisiana Republican and also the Senator Angus King, a Maine independent who caucuses with Democrats. The two are leading a group of legislators that aim to raise the full retirement age 70 to 67. Raising the full retirement age is seen as one of the ways to lessen the impact of the coming insolvency of Social Security's old age and survivors insurance, which finances about 20 to 25% of Social Security benefits. It is. The fund is expected to run out of money by the middle of the decade, meaning that Social Security will have to rely solely on payroll taxes for funding. That could be a big problem that people run into. Now, raising the full retirement age isn't a good idea for so many people too, because it does have bipartisan support among the registered voters, and though not necessarily raising all the way to age 70, a 2022 survey of more than 2,500 registered voters found that 75% of respondents favored gradually raising the age from 67 to 68, a move that would eliminate an estimated 14% of the funding shortfall. Now, support was even evenly split between Republicans and Democrats, but other solutions with bipartisan support among voters include making more wages subject to the payroll tax, increasing Social Security withholding, and reducing benefits for the high earners. But for now, much of the focus is on whether to raise the full retirement age. Not everyone supports the data, because Social Security advocates and many lawmakers have pushed back against the proposal because of the national, political, financial impact it would have on seniors who are already struggling to make ends meet. Plus, folks, I also want you to know this. The National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare, which is a non-profit advocacy group, is raising the full retirement age and cutting benefits for anybody retiring before the new full retirement age. So this means U.S. consumers struggled immensely in 2020.
The number of diverse staffers has increased, reaching the highest level since we launched our survey, and almost certainly the highest level ever. Certainly the highest level in our conference's history. Our survey also shows that more African Americans work for Senate Democratic offices than ever, and in fact that's also true for Latinos, Middle Eastern and North Africans, and Asian American Pacific Islanders. Additionally, more staffers identify as part of the LGBTQ community since we first asked that question starting in 2019.
He called for a number of changes to tax policy in his State of the Union address, including significantly raising the levy on stock, buybacks, and imposing a billionaire minimum tax. But the shout out to the expanded child tax credit is more immediately significantly for the average American family than a tax on billionaires. The expanded child tax credit was back in 2021. It helped a lot of people out and to help families with Americans struggling financially. Well, they provided stimulus for a long time. And the maximum benefit of the credit was increased from $2,000 to $3,000 in 2021. That's for people 6 to 17 years old. And half of the credit was given in advance, plus in monthly payments to the families to help others throughout the year, and the other half was given as part of a household's tax refund. The household with pretty much no or low income was able to receive it for the first time. And though it can take years for the policy to have the tangible effects, the impact of the credit was pretty much very noticeable, very fast. And so I believe it's pretty much right for Joe Biden to send out another one. Don't you guys agree? Parents reported using the advance payments for household essentials like groceries, clothing, schools, and utilities. And despite worries from conservatives, researchers found no evidence that the policy discouraged people from going back to work. Instead, it probably motivated people to get back to work. The Center on Budget and Policy Priorities, everybody, said the success of the 2021 expansion showed us that child poverty rates are a policy choice, not inevitable. And Congress failed to renew the expansion in 2021, reverting the credit back to its former, less generous iteration. It's one of the reasons that families could see smaller tax refunds this year when they file their returns, because some tax credits have already implemented their own version of a child tax credit last year to make up for the difference. Still, without this expansion, everybody, millions of people fell back into poverty at the beginning of last year. It made many people broke, and it hurt so many households. But folks, here's a solution to this. One of the biggest sticking points is whether or not the expanded child tax credit has a work requirement attached to it. Because if it does, that could be beneficial to the ones that need it the most, and the ones that need stimulus fast. Opponents believe there should be some sort of work requirement, but everybody, here's what I'm saying about this. A ton of news about the fourth stimulus check, a ton of news about stimulus payments, a ton of news is here for you on stimulus checks. Joe Biden can do something about this. First of all, let's get into the most important news. It's that Social Security benefits, no matter what, play a major role for your retirement and for the older Americans especially. Now, there could be big changes on the horizon. Social Security is facing a shortfall. A shortfall that could be catastrophic, that is. The program is paying out more in benefits than it's receiving from taxes. If lawmakers don't find a solution soon, things could get nasty. There are several proposals on the table. Social Security benefits are funded primarily through payroll taxes. Workers pay into the program now, and the most of the money is paid out to the retirees. So let's not forget about that right now, though. These taxes are not even enough to pay out benefits in full. Just to cover Social Security, it has been dipping into its trust funds.
We'll have to start thinking about, at least, the looming debt limit deadline. Democrats' message: political brinksmanship could drive up costs for ordinary households. A recent analysis by the center-left think tank Third Way estimated that an actual default
Build Back Better plan, passed by House Democrats last year, it's likely to send her